Imagine walking into work tomorrow and the entire management structure has vanished. What if the person who hired you, the person who approved your vacation, and the person who guided your career suddenly disappeared? This isn't a hypothetical scenario. It's a real story that sent shockwaves through the business world and challenged everything we thought we knew about how companies should run. In 2013, Tony Hsieh, the legendary and visionary CEO of Zappos, the world's most customer-centric shoe retailer, did something unthinkable. He decided to abolish all job titles and, in effect, fire every single manager in the company. His goal was to eliminate the bureaucracy that he believed stifled innovation. No more bosses, no more reporting to someone, no more rigid corporate ladder to climb. He wanted to replace a decade of traditional structure with a radical self-governing system. They called it Holacracy. On paper, it was supposed to be a corporate utopia, a paradise of total freedom, distributed authority, and boundless creativity, where every employee acted like an entrepreneur. But what started as a dream of empowerment quickly spiraled into a corporate nightmare. The experiment in radical freedom triggered a mass exodus that saw hundreds of employees quit, nearly breaking the billion-dollar company. This is the story of the most ambitious HR experiment in history. The story of why Zappos tried to kill hierarchy and why hierarchy fought back. Tony Hsieh, the visionary CEO of Zappos, wanted to prevent the company from becoming a slow, bureaucratic machine. He introduced Holacracy, a system where circles replaced departments and roles replaced job titles. There was no one to report to. Decisions were made through complex democratic meetings. The goal? Maximum agility and innovation. But the reality on the ground was far from a utopia. The problem with radical freedom is that it can be incredibly exhausting. Humans are wired for structure. We crave clarity. Without a manager to resolve conflicts or set priorities, employees were forced into endless, mind-numbing meetings to vote on every tiny detail. Some staff reported spending an extra 10 to 15 hours a week just talking about how to work, instead of actually doing it. The psychological safety of knowing who is in charge was gone. High performers, who just wanted to get things done, found themselves trapped in a web of democratic bureaucracy that was even slower than the old system. The culture of happiness that Zappos was famous for began to sour into a culture of confusion. By 2015, the tension reached a breaking point. Tony Hsieh knew the company was divided. So he issued a memo that would go down in HR history. He offered an ultimatum. If you aren't 100% committed to Holacracy by the deadline, we will pay you to quit. He offered a generous 3-month severance package to anyone who walked away. He expected a few outliers to leave. Instead, 18% of the workforce, over 210 people, took the money and ran. Zappos lost some of its most experienced leaders and institutional knowledge in a single month. High-performing veterans, unable to handle the constant confusion, walked out the door. The experiment had become a crisis. While Zappos survived, they eventually had to quietly reintroduce manager-like roles to keep the ship from sinking. So what is the ultimate HR insight from the Zappos experiment? The key lesson isn't that structure is inherently evil or that autonomy is a flawed goal. Instead, it's that autonomy without clarity is chaos. Human beings don't actually hate structure, they hate bad structure, the kind that stifles, micromanages, and creates bureaucratic bottlenecks. When you remove structure entirely, you don't automatically get freedom, you often get paralysis. People are left adrift in a sea of ambiguity, spending more energy trying to figure out how to work than actually working. The dream of a bossless office is inspiring, but the Zappos story reveals a fundamental human need: psychological safety. Most people need a roadmap, a North Star, and a leader to help navigate the inevitable storms of business. This doesn't have to be a traditional, top-down manager. A modern leader acts as a coach, a facilitator, and a tiebreaker, someone who removes obstacles, not creates them. Zappos eventually moved away from pure holacracy, quietly reintroducing roles with clear accountability, proving that even the most innovative cultures need a backbone of leadership to function effectively. Zappos taught us that you can't just delete hierarchy, you have to evolve it. The future of work likely isn't a binary choice between total control and total freedom. It's about finding a hybrid model that empowers individuals and teams within a clear, supportive framework. So, was Zappos's experiment a failure? Not entirely. It was an expensive, high-profile lesson for the entire business world. It forced a critical conversation. Is your company ready for radical freedom, or do you still need a boss to keep the lights on? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. I'm HR Insight, and if you found this case study valuable, hit that subscribe button to join our community of forward-thinking professionals. We'll see you in the next deep dive.